we're going to talk about the history of my basically shopping obsession when it comes to perfumes. I always had a lot of fragrances. I never had as many as I do have now. So I compiled, basically did a search of all of my fragrance net purchases. This is not like a complete list, but it's kind of like a decent snapshot of my purchasing activity and what kind of things they were really hot at the time. And I got actually the price range as well. So,
all right. October 14, October 23, a week later. You see, 2018, it's when I lost my marbles. La Mia Perla, it was the second bottle of La Mia Perla, and I had one that I ordered from Britain. I paid like $60 for it because it was impossible to find in the United States. And then merely a month later, it appeared on fragrancenet.com for so cheap. I bought myself 100 ml for $34. It's still dirt cheap. You still can find it anywhere. Really affordable price, beautiful bottle. It made the cut to the best bottle design of all time video that I recently posted. You can see it there. It's just like, love it. It's beautiful nudie, kind of like this skin-like sheer. It's like silky lingerie. I still love this perfume. And I got myself Feminita de Bois from Serge Lutens for roughly $60. Okay, so we're now at the end of October, October 23, October 26, 3 days later. This is nuts. This is freaking nuts. Petite Maman from Bulgari, which is a non-alcohol based perfume that is they've specially formulated it for nursing moms, so it was baby safe. 40 ml for roughly $20. Casimir by Chopard, which is like plasticky apricot amber, $25. I sold it for probably like $10. It was horrible. It's just not on par with other Chopard fragrances. Not the best. Maybe it was reformulated. Maybe they just cheapened the blend, like the formula. It just doesn't have depth anymore. But I like the bottle. The bottle design is really cool. Clean warm cashmere, $25. Complete waste of money. I think I regifted it, and I think it's maybe worth $10, if that, but definitely not $25. That's a waste. Okay, 4 days later. We're still in October of the same year. 4 days later. Serge Lutens Un Bois Vanille, roughly $55. Serge Lutens Baptême de Feu, roughly $55. Serge Lutens La Religieuse, $45. Oh, that's cheap, but I resold it. I sold most of this. Yeah, Un Bois Vanille, gifted. Baptême de Feu, sold. La Religieuse, gifted to a friendly blogger. Serge Lutens Dame Blonde, $55. Love. Love, love, love. That's one of the few. I think I bought in that same year maybe 15 different fragrances by Serge Lutens, and I probably got rid of, I don't know, 70% of them. But Serge Lutens Dame Blonde, what is it? Light leather? Something like that. That is a love. Love, love, love. Just, to me, it's a staple. Staple of soft, suede type of floral leather fragrance, and I have a backup at this point. Nirvana Bourbon, $22 for 30 ml, and actually you still can get it for under $30, and it's amazing. It's a niche quality in contemporary mass market, or call it designer fragrances. Absolute must have if you haven't tried it yet. Montal Black Musk. I got it for $26, 50 ml. Oh my god. What a score. What a score. I love it. It's kind of like this rough, somewhat sweet black leathery scent. It's kind of aggressive. It's almost monochord. There's not much of the depth or development there, but I I do like the way they approached kind of the sweet, musky black leather scent. It's very unisex. I love it. To me, it's just very kind of put together, a bit BDSM-y maybe. I don't know. Comptoir Pacific Matin Clean. That's when my obsession with searching for milk fragrances started. $15 for 30 ml. Whoa! I scored. It's a good price. It's very good price. You can't find Comptoir South Pacific for $15 anymore. Very, very rarely so. Matin Clean, though, is not quite a milk fragrance. It is a sweet, 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 sweet condensed milk fragrance. If you like that kind of thing, get that one. It's one of the most realistic scents of condensed milk. It's just not my cup of tea. I think I regifted it. Beginning of November, same year. Oh my god, I was making over $100 orders every 3 days or every week or so. That's crazy. Okay, continuation of my exploration of Serge Lutens. Serge Lutens Santal Majuscule, still love it. Vanilla woody milk, milky woody kind of fragrance, but more like vanilla milk. It's not quite milk. Vanilla Bourbon, I got 2 more for gifting, and and later I think later that year I got robbed, and those were the ones that got stolen out of my collection. So I bought 2, and I think I bought 2 more the following year. At this point, I think I should still keep buying them because they make perfect gifts, especially from guests from abroad. This is what I kind of like as an ambassador of American perfumery, the role I sometimes have to play when I travel and meet other bloggers or meet like subscribers of mine. This, the Elizabeth & Jane's Nirvana Bourbon is the fragrance that I'm proud to present as an affordable, contemporary, beautifully composed, beautifully packaged, American made, you know, by Americans, for Americans, in America kind of perfume. So yeah, Nirvana Bourbon is just a staple, and the fact that you can buy it so cheap on fragrancenet.com, godsend. So I need to stash up on it again, I think, because it's perfect for gifting for people who are looking to explore regional American perfumes. Lalique, namesake, Lalique by Lalique, 100 ml, $32, limited edition bottle. A bit pricey, but I think it's pretty much what it still costs now. Beautiful sweet pear, a dupe for Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel. Signorina Misteriosa, it's like a small sample. Oh, that was like blackberry with milky mousse, super synthetic perfume, hated it. I gifted it to my mom, $6 for travel size. Pie by Givenchy, iconic perfume that unfortunately got reformulated so many times that it's like a ghost of itself at this point. I paid $35 for 30 ml. Can't recommend it for purchase any longer because I bought it and I could bathe in it and it still couldn't quite get the right intensity of the kind of sweet ambery spices. That's what was so beautiful about Pie by Givenchy. It was a sweet, deep, ambery, spicy scent in the world of men's fragrances. That's what was so amazing about Pie by Givenchy in the world of this kind of austere, rough, almost coarse, ozonic bullshit, or like vetiver, sea of vetiver ozonic fragrances. There was just like a little alcove of beautifully deep, ambery, spicy scents that were actually targeted to men. So it was always a beautiful gift because as soon as I could show guys the Pie by Givenchy, it basically signified hope that there are interesting fragrances that are not all the same in the world of men's perfumes. Unfortunately, can't recommend it anymore. It's just too diluted. It's diluted to the point that you can't even smell it 10 minutes later. Fendi Furioso finally, no, this is a mini. This is what started my love with Fendi. $6 for a mini. Use it up completely, made probably like 10 Instagram posts. I loved it so much, and eventually got myself a full-size bottle. Living by Lalique, 23 bucks, tester, 100 ml, still love it, still use it. Light woody lavender perfume, very unisex, beautiful bottle. Serge Lutens 5 o'clock or gingerbread. It's like tea with ginger by Serge Lutens, $55, regifted it. Not my cup of tea. Serge Lutens Arabi, $48. Remember the times. It was only 2 years ago when we all could get original pre-reformulation Serge Lutens for $48. Oh my god, I die. Actually, I don't really like Arabi. It's very much like dried fruits with spices, sort of dried apricots, dried plums, raisins. It's very centric in that kind of realm. Beloved by many fragrance lovers, just not my cup of tea. I think I resold it or regifted it. This is still beginning of November of the same year. We got stuck at this point in 2018, and this order alone that we just finished was $300. Can you see? This is getting pathological. And yet 4 days later, still in November 2018, after spending $300 just 4 days before, I made an order for $215. I mean, if you don't think I had a problem then, I think by now, like, you're realizing it was getting out of hand. It was getting completely bonkers. Okay, let's just do this one and we'll probably make a stop. If you like what you see, we can kind of go through like it's not even the worst of times, to be honest. This is when it started. This is when my obsession and the kind of rampant consumerism in the realm of fragrances, that's when it really started speeding up and getting momentum. But this is not the worst that I've been at. Yeah, so let's go for this one, and like a few discussion points after I'm done with this. 4 days later, November 10, 2018. Bulgari Jasmine Noir Mini. I like the mini. I think I resold the mini and bought myself a full-size bottle that I still have. I think I have it for sale now. It's a beautiful, musky, soft jasmine, very skin-like scent, iconic. It's unfortunately, from what I hear, it's discontinued. So now the prices on it are like really skyrocketing very quickly. But for many women back in the day, like early 2010s, it was like the iconic me in the bottle kind of perfume. Serge Lutens La Verge de Fer Metal in Lilies for $47, 100 ml. Oh my god, 100 ml of Serge Lutens for $47. Can you believe this? It's unconceivable anymore. Now it's gonna be 90 bucks, the cheapest. And you're lucky if you find that. I regifted it to someone who loved it more because it didn't really open up on me in any interesting fashion. To me, it's just like a generic body spray with a lily. It was not that kind of lily I was looking for, so not with me any longer. Serge Lutens Zatura Noir, beautiful almondy tuberose that gave me horrible headaches. So I got it for $36, 50 ml, and I think resold it very quickly. C by Chloe, Cibelle, a flanker with white chocolate, as they claimed, and birch tree. I thought it was ingenious combination of notes. Imagine the milky softness of white chocolate and the subtle beauty of birch tree. I'm privileged enough to have tried birch tree juice. It was a thing back in Russia, It was fairly expensive. It was not easy to find, so a lot of people got it in very unsustainable ways, but I think I vaguely remember the taste of it, and it was something incredible. It's very hard to describe because it's basically the milk of the tree. It's the what serves the tree growth, but it's such a unique smell and taste. It's truly very Japanese in its subtlety of elegance. Anyway, I was so intrigued by C by Chloe Cibel. I got it $33, 60 ml, or 75 maybe, and it was just generic sweet nothingness. It didn't really deliver much either of white chocolate nor of birch tree. So I think I resold it. Oranges and Fleurs Ubigan, 53 bucks. Very decent, or like kind of like Fleur d'Orange perfume. A lot of people compared it with Serge Lutens' Fleur d'Orange, but to me, Oranges and Fleurs is a little bit too vintage in its profile, so I think I resold it eventually. Quelques Fleurs is just a sample. Beautiful floral aldehydes, but a bit piercing. They're very sharp. Untold Luxe by Elizabeth Arden. Beautiful fragrance. Very wearable. $15 for a tester. I gifted it to my mom. She really likes these kind of like... Elizabeth Arden is really known for her soft, not aggressive, sweet, ambery florals. They're not complex, but they're very wearable and very, very comfortable. And a bunch of small samples here. Okay, all right, let's pause here for a second. I think at this point we're already talking just these website alone, and I'm pretty sure I was shopping elsewhere. I've spent several $1,000s. What's more shocking that before you could see one order and that would be gifts for other people, then maybe another half a year later, and then no orders for 2 years. And then in 2018, I made how many? If anybody can count, please let me know. 10? And we're not even at the end of the year yet. And those orders alone, I think, are several $1,000s. Even though I started to become a little bit smarter about bargain hunting, about using coupon codes, about comparing website prices to each other, trying to be more careful about starting notes. But the explosion from, let's say, 18 perfume collection to then probably 50 by the end of the year, maybe 60, maybe 100, and not really knowing where to test them. Like, it's crazy how many of those fragrances I don't have anymore. It's probably like when I started becoming really obsessed and I just started spending all my money, all my free money on them. That's just, to be honest, I'm a bit shaken right now. I know it happened, but looking at it in vivid detail with numbers attached to it is a little bit, it's a little bit unnerving. And also realizing that it's been only 2 years ago. Over probably 70% of these names are no longer in my collection. Most of those were flops. I got it just because it seemed cheap, just because one note seemed interesting, just because that brand I haven't tried yet. It's a little bit nuts. It's a little bit crazy. I'm just gonna say, and yet it's not the craziest yet. It's not the craziest I've been. So you guys let me know. Would you like to see the next part? What happened next? If you are, please leave a comment below. I'll do the digging. Maybe it'll do some kind of synthesize some summaries and do some math about how many bottles per year, or like how much I spent per year at my worst, when I was just obsessed with shopping. If you're curious to sort of see my evolution and where I was, how it got really bad and how I got a little bit better. Can't say I got much better, but a little bit better. It's still not as crazy. I'm not placing orders every 3 days anymore. But yeah, let me know if you're curious to hear more, and let me know about your story with consumerism and with shopping. What kind of ups and downs did you have through the years, and at which stage are you now with shopping? I would love to hear your thoughts about that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.